we're gonna talk about people's love for Metallica, that'd be one where we'd have to get my brother on.
Ew. Your brother loves Metallica? We're
He
never
likes-
having your brother on again, ever. No.
He likes old Metallica, like 80s Metallica.
That's still just ew.
I mean, if we got him on talking about music, though, he'd probably end up just talking about the Rolling Stones the whole time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Not Another Freaking Podcast, brought to you by Big Cat Security. Hire a big cat to keep short, bald people from storming onto your sets and tackling you. Take it away, gang.
Thanks, Norm, and thanks, Big Cat Security. We hired a big cat to keep that short, bald gremlin, Richard Jenkins, from attacking our good old pal Norm. But it's me, it's Will Diamond. And I'm joined once again by these lovable curmudgeons. We have the face-pulling, teeth-biting, fingernail-clipping son of a gun. We got Thank You, Sutton.
Yeah.
We've got the man of 1,000 parasols, Yadi.
Yeah.
Just wondering where we got the budget for security.
And we've got, last but most certainly not least, we've got one big bad booty daddy. He's got freaks for 14 days of the weeks. We have, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Scott Steiner couldn't make it. We have Jake Murphy.
Okay. So that sounds.
Come on,
I'm a
come
little
on now,
lacking in
Jake.
the.
You're a medium distasteful booty daddy.
Okay, I'll take it. I
Are
was
you
gonna say
good
I'm
at
also
it?
kind of.
Are you good at
lacking in the peaks department too.
You're whacking it off in the recording studio in front of our live studio audience.
What?
PBS wouldn't be proud.
PBS would be disgusted.
More on that later.
Yeah.
What would David Young think?
Think of the big birds.
The biggest bird.
No, you're not the biggest bird in here, Jake. Put that away.
Okay.
Whack it off, PBS, Snuffleupagus. Oh my God. Okay.
So, as y'all may or may not be aware, we've been down and out our precious Yadi. He's been gone. He's been in, as far as I understand, you were in Costa Rica building hotels for rich people. Is this true, Yadi?
Not even a little bit.
And where the fuck were you?
Getting married?
Oh. Well, that's way more ethically acceptable.
JD's not helping the rich if I know him.
No, I'm eating the rich.
JD loves him some fucking billionaires.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not doing politics here. Remember?
Go-
You know who
Go
else
on
loves
barbecue.
some fucking billionaires? Kurt Cobain. He definitely would have loved some jet flying, limousine riding billionaires. And I think he would be disgusted to see his old buddy David going after the most poetic and kind-hearted superstar out there.
I
Oh, we're
Yeah.
getting into the Swifties versus the Grohl family thing.
severely doubt that Kurt Cobain is a Swiftie.
You don't think he wouldn't have loved Taylor Swift?
Probably not. He didn't love Courtney Love. No pun intended.
Who
Yeah,
did,
but those
though?
are definitely two different kinds of cats.
Yeah.
Courtney Love is
Yeah, I
a
mean, we do have
wildly
a
different beast.
resident Swiftie in the fucking on the show. How did you feel about that, JD?
It's hard for me to take sides there because Daddy Dave can do no wrong.
Big guy, see? Yeah.
Exactly.
I also feel like it was a more of a misunderstanding kind of thing. Like Dave was just having fun, and then like it wasn't even Taylor that got uppity. It was a lot of the fans that were like, "You can't make fun of her." You
Which
know?
is always how it goes.
but-
Because
The Swifties they're like really out of context with that stuff. That I would be surprised if any Swifties would actually know how Dave Grohl works.
Yeah.
Like, less.
That clip where Dave Grohl said, "I'm gonna cut that blonde bitch's head off," that was out of context.
Did he say that?
It was out of context.
Okay.
Also, the one where he's like, "This is Taylor Swift's address. I'm about to go air shit out." It was out of context.
Did he mention anything about Travis Kelce?
No, but I will, because I saw that over the summer he learned that it's called Alice in Wonderland and not Alice in Wonderland. And it just makes me think of, like, you know how you'll see shit, especially on Twitter, where it's like discourse over the most, like, this is not a thing, stop talking. It makes me think of one where it was around the Super Bowl and someone was like, Taylor Swift is actually problematic. She is grooming Travis Kelce. There's a massive mental age gap because of the CTE. He is basically a child. And, you know, at first you see that and it's just like, stop talking, go away, get off the internet. But then, like, he says stuff like that and it's like, you know, maybe they were on to something.
I mean, they anytime they would show him on the sidelines and everything, he had that like 1,000-yard stare, and all I could picture in his head was like the thought bubble, and there's like cymbal banging monkey going on. Like, the lights were on, but nobody was home.
I don't know. It can't be as bad as Antonio Brown's CTE.
Oh, that guy was-
ABCT is a different beast because that is, I've never seen CTE cause a career switch so successfully. Because, like, that man's got an entertainment career set up for him now. It's all just about how he plays the chips, but
Oh, he's playing him wrong because he's bankrupt.
oh yeah, but I still think he can bounce back. I've seen Disney kids bounce back from worse.
That child support he's pretty far behind on that child support.
Hey, I mean, Lindsay Lohan got clean.
Exactly.
Oh, wild chain appears.
But does Lizzie
Ladies and gentlemen, special guest, Shane, the big red angry truck Daniels.
Thanks, Norm.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Norm.
Norm, that was great. Great intro.
And
Yeah.
once again, this is brought to you by Big Cat Security, because we hired a big cat to keep that little gremlin, Richard Jenkins, off the set.
Where is this budget for security coming from?
They sponsored us.
I don't know where any of this money comes from, but yeah.
I have
Will
a
Diamond's
crippling
a
gambling
notorious money
addiction.
launderer.
It's just not a problem because I'm really good at it.
Yeah, Will Diamond is a notorious money launderer. You guys didn't know that?
Yeah.
Well, according to you guys, I sell drugs, so there's that too.
How do you
I have
think
not seen any proof to the contrary of that, Shane.
That's a legend.
Yeah,
very alleged?
it's very alleged.
Well,
There's-
just like
Those
I've never
clips
seen
were
Clark
out
Kent
of
and Superman in the same
context.
place. Well, I've never seen Clark Kent and Superman in the same place.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen those two little shits in the same room. I think he's fucking up to something. I'm about to get that Clark Kent motherfucker.
I'm
Which,
saying, I
speaking
think
of that Clark Kent motherfucker, skip to 45:37. That's totally going to be the point. If you don't care about Superman spoilers, but did y'all see the shit from on set for the new Superman movie?
No.
there's a new Superman.
Yes.
It looks sick.
Who's playing Superman?
For once, not a British man.
No, so we're going back to the Christopher Reeve era.
Does he have a
It's-
wheelchair?
Does he what?
Does he have a wheelchair?
No, Superman's not crippled.
Yeah.
Well, Christopher Reeve was.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. I mean,
Skibbity bebop.
But James Gunn's just jamming a bunch of Golden Age dudes that have barely seen the light of day in the last 15, 20 years. A whole bunch of shine. We're getting Mr. Terrific looking true to life. Ultraman is the villain.
Oh yeah, I forget DC had a guy named Ultraman.
Yeah, he's an alternate Earth Superman.
Yeah, I always go to Japanese Ultraman.
but only sometimes. No, I would pay good fucking money for that Ultraman to fight Superman.
Bruh, let's go. I would watch that.
But how much faith do y'all have in James Gunn's DC universe?
I don't have any faith in DC.
There you are.
But do you have faith in James Gunn?
I have
mean,
faith in
he-
James Gunn.
I believe in Joe Hand.
If he casted Chris Pratt, no. If he didn't cast Chris Pratt, then yes.
Chris Pratt's
that's
not
a-
in it.
He didn't
No, but
cast
Chris Pratt
him.
was in Guardians of the Galaxy, and Chris Pratt is decidedly the worst of the Marvel Chris's.
He's also just a
Um,
garbage
So
person.
if he was
too.
responsible for his casting, then I have no faith in him. But if he was not responsible, I have a little faith.
He was also Super Mario in the Mario movie.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
remind
no
us.
fucking shit. No, everyone noticed that because he's not a voice actor. He's just a dumbass fucking speaking to a microphone.
Yeah.
The bang.
And we're not going to talk about his other voice acting roles.
We're
He
not gonna
doesn't
talk
voice
about how-
act. He does. He has no voice acting roles. He does roles where he goes in and plays Chris Pratt,
Mhm.
and that's it.
So it's like every Rock movie where The Rock's just playing The Rock over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but here's the thing though. The Rock has truly reinvented the game this time around. Have y'all seen the trailer for Red 1?
No.
This will make the whole world forget about Black Adam, even though they already did. So we've got The Rock and Chris Evans, and they have to save Santa. And it's like a crazy action. It's your typical Rock movie. It's an action thriller with a lot of jokes. And they're literally going to. So The Rock works already for Santa, and Chris Evans is like a bah humbug that somehow gets recruited. There are reindeer, they fight goblins. There's a giant snowman that they fight on the beach that The Rock punches in half and then he puts himself back together. This is a real fucking movie.
I'm not sure, but like I've
Who
heard
plays
some of the
Santa
shit
Claus,
you've made
though?
up before. I've heard some of the shit you've made up before, and this sounds very in line with shit that you would make
No,
up.
I know.
it's a real movie. Santa Claus is J.K. Simmons, and
Oh,
he's
that
like
makes
And he's
Jack.
fucking yoked.
Yeah,
he
he's
is
fucking
beast.
yoked.
All right.
You can't tell me cinema is not on its way back. We're about to have some potentially mediocre or decently alright Superman movies. The Rock is saving Christmas. We're
In
inching
summer.
closer and closer towards the Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover
Oh, for fuck's sake.
because they axed the Transformers one, which is legitimately upsetting. No, you can't tell me a Fast and Furious movie, but also Bumblebee's there.
I just want to know. I literally just want to know how much cocaine was snorted in these meetings when they're like, "Yo, let's make a movie called Fast and the Furious. It's about these guys who steal DVD players and they're street racers." And then all of a sudden we're flying to fucking space
Yeah.
and we're fucking
No, they are not
they're all
flying to
international
space.
fucking thieves, men of mystery, fucking.
Correction. They drive to space.
I'm sorry, they drive to fucking space.
It's where
The
Elon
guy
got his
you
idea.
thought was fucking dead is still alive for some fucking reason.
Which
and
one? Which one?
I know there was a bunch of them, and everything's about family. I just want to know the mountain of
fucking
cocaine
straight.
that was snorted. They're like, we can make 10 of these.
Yeah, it's
And
literally
we're
a
gonna
movie
cast
franchise.
Ludacris.
It's literally a movie franchise that stopped being about what it was about originally.
And became about
Exactly.
something more important.
What's
Family.
that?
Stuff. Those movies are nonstop stuff. And because 5 is really where the series begins.
Okay.
And then from that point on is when they really start like setting the tone. Like nothing will ever top 8. 8 is just like, let's just do shit. There's a whole wrecking ball smacking into cars sequence. And no, do not think about how long the cord of the wrecking ball is or where it's attached. Just think about the wrecking ball. And then an hour later, after Vin Diesel has turned evil, and they're trying to catch this dude, and it's
Making this up.
on paper, it's the most simple fucking setup. It's literally like, we gotta steal a briefcase from the governor. Let's go get his limo. So you think, oh, they just like drive up and ram his limo. No. They hack into every car in goddamn Pittsburgh or wherever, and they literally call them zombie cars. And the cars are just like driving into this fucking armored up limo, and then they possess a whole parking garage and make them all drive over the edge. And there's just a shot where you just see all these cars driving off a parking garage deck, and then they cut to an overhead shot of the limo stopped in the fucking road, and cars just keep going, and then the music stops and cars keep fucking falling until you can no longer see the limo and it's just a pool of cars.
How's that help them get a briefcase?
Well, so you see right after that, then the music dramatically just blasts back and Vin Diesel rocket boots up with a big old buzzsaw and he cuts through the cars.
Ladies and
You can't
gentlemen,
make this up.
I'm not fucking making this up.
You can't. But here's the thing. These Fast and Furious movies this is what I imagine Michael Bay's dreams are like. He's like, man.
Right?
Exactly.
He's like,
They
he's
just took
probably
Michael
saw-
Bay's fucking thoughts and it was like, let's make a fucking movie about it.
He probably saw these and was like, I missed the fucking boat.
They probably
Yeah.
saw him and was like, I'm gonna sue somebody. They took all my ideas.
No, because Michael Bay still has his moments, like how he blew up T.J. Miller.
Mm.
That's still the pettiest shit ever. I don't know. I still believe one day Michael Bay is gonna randomly just decide, I want a fucking Oscar and make some crazy ass actually good movie.
I like how this became a Fast and Furious episode all of a sudden.
What was that movie he did that had Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson?
Atomic
Transformers
Blonde.
2 Revenge of the Fallen.
I think it was like The Island or something like that.
Mm.
Yes, that was actually a very fun movie.
So that was really good. Like the first half of the movie was really good, and then the second half was mindless action sequences.
Yeah, it's just typical Michael Bay.
But like the first half of the movie was perfect, dude. There was intrigue and mystery, and it was fun.
Mm.
And then the second half just.
Sounds like Transformers 2. Rise and Fall.
Bruh.
Man, I'll never forget watching that movie in theaters and just being so excited because I was like, there's all these cool Transformers that'll be in it. And the movie just kept happening and it was like, oh, okay.
Oh, the
Of all the
movie
movies
just.
I've seen, this is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least like 3 was just like, okay, we're just doing shit to do shit. And then 4
I did like
is-
Michael Bay's classic Netflix movie, the one with Batista, where they're in the zombies.
No, he didn't do that one. That's Zack Snyder, the other
Oh.
Michael Bay.
Well,
The
Zack
other
Snyder
Michael Bay.
also, fuck him too, and all his movies that are all the
Yeah.
same.
Zack Snyder is low-key just a worse Michael Bay.
Who got lucky because they didn't release a Justice League movie of his.
Wait, didn't
No.
they? I thought they did.
Eventually, yeah, but that's the only reason he stayed relevant was because of that movie.
Yeah, because they were like, release the Snyder Cut, and I was like, this is even worse
Yeah.
than the actual fucking movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it wasn't that all the fanboys were like, release the Snyder Cut, and then they did, and everyone was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah,
Why did we want this?
I didn't even watch it because there ain't no goddamn way you're going to be like, hey, do you remember this movie that drug on and on and on? You hated it? Watch a 4-hour version of it now.
I really hate the end where Martian Manhunter just kind of pops up and is like, hey, I've been here the whole time, and I'm like,
No,
Why
that's
didn't
the
you fucking
funniest
help
shit
us?
ever. That's
Why
the
didn't you fucking
funniest
help?
shit.
no, it's not. He was like low key. He was like, y'all got this. I'm here though. If you need me ever again.
That
Like,
shit's
thanks,
so
Martian
funny.
Manhunter. You fuck. You didn't even
That
help us.
and then the credit scene of the villain's equivalent of I've been here too and I can kill them. with Deathstroke showing up on a yacht and then never getting followed up on.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? It was good in theory, but nah.
I don't know. I liked the Blue Beetle one.
See, I didn't watch Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle is low-key one of the only ones of whatever they call that time period of the DC movies now. But
So is
that's like the
Shazam
only
just
good
kind of
one.
like non-canon? Like no one gives a fuck?
Oh yeah, no. All of them are non-canon except Blue Beetle. He straight up said he's like, it depends on
How
if
good the
people like it, on if it's canon, and then people are like, this is really good. And he's like, yeah, I thought so too. It's canon now. So Blue Beetle is the only survivor and Peacemaker, but kind of not. Because he's
God, I
still
hate
doing that show, but they've said like season 1's not canon anymore. Season 2 will be. So I think they're gonna do some kind of multiversey stuff.
Ugh. Multiverses.
Why does it have to be so confusing?
Because DC
It's
fucking
comics.
sucks. How about that? Like I've always said this. If back in the day before Disney bought Marvel, the animation for Marvel sucked and the DC animation was great, but the DC movies sucked and the Marvel live action movies were great. I said if we could just flip those around, everything would be perfect.
Yeah.
But we
Because
can't have.
Marvel storylines are way more unnecessarily over the top and complicated. And I think that lends itself better to animation. Whereas DC's typically more like straightforward shit. Unless you do Green Lantern, then it's just whatever we're feeling like.
What is it the DC thing? Everybody tries to do everything all gritty and serious, and everybody's depressed. And
Because the 90s were really cool, and
Yeah,
the gritty,
Jake.
and the unfortunately for DC, that's what their best sellers always end up being, are the grittier ones.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah, they're
Batman's
coming
always going to
out
be their
with the
cash cow.
sequel.
Nightwing's always a good one.
Hey, I do have a question since we're talking about gritty '90s fucking movies. Apparently, what
Spawn.
happened? What happened to the Spawn movie that got announced? Did they just axe it?
That is a good question.
No, even better.
Oh God, I don't even want to know. Do I?
You don't, because it will one day emerge and it's going to be a mess. So they had real people making it, and then gears just kind of kept grinding on the script because Todd McFarlane was very incessant on it, and he kept shooting down the script. So now people are technically still signed on because no one has publicly said they're not, but I don't know that Jeremy Renner is still going to be available to be doing Spawn shit because he was supposed to be Twitch. But Todd McFarlane is taking it into his own hands to fully write the script by himself now.
It'd be
What
better.
if-
We're basically back at square one.
It'd be better to use AI at this point.
No, that was never the answer.
Well, and also talking about, since we're on the subject, the Crow remake. Apparently, that is hot garbage too. So,
well, it was destined to be.
I'm taking it as a challenge, and I can't wait to see it because
It-
I've heard many reviews say it's unwatchable, and I take that as a challenge.
anything City of Angels and newer is terrible.
I don't think y'all understand. I play Resident Evil 6 for fun.
I don't think what you understand good pro movies, William.
I like RoboCop 3.
yeah, that's not a good movie
That's
at
a
all.
terrible movie. I like
That's a
the bit where
horrible movie.
I like the part where RoboCop gets a virus in his brain and just goes, "Ah!"
Bet you like fucking Terminator Genesis or whatever it was too, don't you?
Which one's that one?
Good
Is
question.
that the most recent one?
I think it's the third one.
No,
No,
third one.
because 3 is actually good. The fight scene in the Pentagon where they're punching each other through the urinals and shit, that was sick.
Which one was Genesis? This
but
is the
no.
one where they actually do the bit where they do the de-aged Furlong and they fucking kill him.
I don't think I ever actually saw that one, but I heard it was really bad.
And they do the, like, Arnold's Terminator got old and he lived out in the woods or
Yeah,
something.
and it's prime timeline Arnold fighting past Arnold, and he's all de-aged and looks gross. He looks like a Mortal Kombat character.
I think they just use his model from the Mortal Kombat game for this scene.
Yeah.
Or his model from that year that he was DLC for one of the Fed games. You guys remember that?
I don't.
Yeah,
Not
he
really.
was DLC one year. He was like a pre-order bonus. You could play as the original Terminator. It was the
Actually,
year that
wait.
did-
No, I do remember that
I
now.
do remember it.
I was gonna say it was the year Triple H did the
Yeah,
That's
that was
1000 it is.
31.
dun 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 dun,
What, man?
and it looked like
Why
shit.
don't they do more stuff like that? Like, why haven't they brought back RoboCop for one of them?
Well, that was WCW.
So they own them.
They don't own RoboCop.
And
They own WCW.
Well,
They-
they
they
own
just had a
WCW.
great RoboCop game last year. That was my game of the year.
Was it? I mean,
It was really fucking good.
Punch, punch, punch.
I've actually been thinking about playing through it again recently.
I played the demo. It was okay at best.
No, there's so much just like
That's
goofy
right.
little attention to detail.
Terrible shit makes your stick crawl. I
Only sometimes, but it's because it's terrible. RoboCop was actually just a fucking solid first-person shooter. You can throw dudes at dudes.
I like the RoboCop that you can play on the arcade where you actually use the gun. Remember that?
The RoboCop versus Terminator game?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that kind of ruled. I like that one.
Yeah, I was just kind of pissed off because I wanted to play as Terminator, not as RoboCop, and they made you play as RoboCop. I was like, God damn it.
Of course you did, because you're a
You know,
bad
it's-
person.
my favorite arcade game was the Star Wars Pod Racer game.
We actually got to sit in the pod.
Yeah,
You
where
had
you
to-
sit in the fucking pod and you just fucking move the fucking.
I wonder how much
The
those things
levers
cost
back and
now.
forth to turn and shit. That's
They're probably super expensive.
They gotta be expensive because they're rare, aren't they?
I don't know if that they're rare, but
I mean, I didn't really see that
I
video.
feel like to an extent, all of those arcade machines kind of are, except for the Terminator Salvation. That one I still see, I feel like everywhere I go.
I like
And
playing-
Jurassic Park.
I like
I
playing
mean,
Taxi on the arcades too. Like, it was a lot of fun on the Dreamcast, but like, there was just something about playing, like driving and picking folks up on the Crazy Taxi arcade game itself. That
Tyler, that wasn't an arcade machine.
it was.
You were just on Ambien.
No, I was not.
did any of you guys play Initial D?
Yes, they had the free to play arcade a couple times at Anime Weekend Atlanta, and I got to play the Initial D arcade. It was fun.
Well, the one at our at East Town, which is now Amazon warehouse, they tore down in the mall. Had a they had a arcade Initial D in there where you could get the card.
Yep.
And save your car on the card and shit.
The same
The
way they
only
did it at
arcade game-
AWA.
Only arcade game I've ever played like that was, and it was, I've only ever seen them at Dave & Buster's, but when I looked them up, apparently they're massive at truck stops. But it was this big old horse racing game where it takes up like a quarter of a wall, and it's just a giant ass screen.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of little like tables, and on there is a little screen where you're like training your horse or whatever, and then it's just a timer or whenever everyone's ready, and then you all race your horses, and then it poops a little card at you. Because I still have mine in my wallet, my horse Muskie Moo Moo.
And one of the other arcade machines that we had was a Tekken machine, so we all played Tekken arcade.
Which one? 3?
Yeah.
I wish Token had that Initial D game.
That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
So when they had it at AWA, they had like 4 of them together, and they had like the 4-on-4 races and shit. I was like, that's fucking tits.
See, and that's why y'all motherfuckers ran out of business. If they had spent more talent and money on trying to draw those crowds instead of arcade games and the boys, the AWA never would have folded.
God damn it. I had AWA.
Getting bought out by 0-1.
Another fun arcade game that I used to play when I was a kid was at the laundromat, and it was the X-Men arcade game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I think, is going to be in the Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Yo.
I think so. Actually, wait,
Let's
no.
go.
It's just the Fighters and then
Oh.
randomly the Punisher game.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
that.
so that X-Men arcade was never on console, was it?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's the same thing with the Simpsons arcade game. It was never
Yeah.
on console.
That game ruled too.
The Simpsons
Mhm.
arcade game is incredible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, arcades used to be the fucking shit back in the day.
Is the X-Men one you're talking about, is that the one with the kick-ass fucking intro and everything looks like the old animated series, and it has that fucking bit with fucking Magneto floats down from the thing and you're fighting the fucking Sentinels and all that shit?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking
Wait, Magneto's in it?
Yeah.
The dude from Fortnite?
No.
Yes, the guy
Yeah.
from Fortnite.
Damn it.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can play as Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Cyclops. I think Storm was another one.
Yeah.
Jubilee.
Who cares? She's the Meg of X-Men.
You are the Meg of X-Men. Everybody loves Jubilee.
No, they don't. Fuck
Oh, wait,
Jubilee.
Yeah, the
worst
Meg
fucking
of
powers
X-Men
ever.
is Angel.
Angel was kind of a bitch.
He was only cool when he became a supervillain and was Archangel and was running
Yes.
with Apocalypse.
Yeah, and Jubilee's like, hey, watch this. I can flash you with my fucking fingers.
Yeah, and she always wore dope-ass outfits.
It's true.
She's
Now,
an
did
icon.
you guys even watch X-Men 97? I do have a little respect for Jubilee because they did like a thing where there's an episode where she goes back. She gets trapped in a game, but she's already trapped in the game, so she meets her future self, and her future self is actually kind of badass. And I was like, wow, if her powers were like that, then she'd be cool. But she's fucking useless.
So is it kind of like that episode of Teen Titans where fucking Robin met himself as Nightwing and he was like, whoa, I get to be cool later.
Basically.
Okay. I missed that version of Teen Titans. That was such a good show.
The first run?
Yeah, the original one.
Yeah,
Before
that
they did
one
that Teen
was
Titans
the
Go
better
thing.
one.
Yeah.
I don't like Teen Titans Go. There's only like a couple episodes that I really liked, and one of them was whenever they were doing all the Heath Ledger Jokers. Shit was funny.
Well, that whole show is just written around their cutaway gags. And the
Yeah.
cutaway gags were always Beast Boy and Cyborg shit.
And that's most of the episodes is Beast Boy and Cyborg shit, but now everyone is doing Beast Boy and Cyborg shit or more so Robin is also doing that. And then Raven and Starfire to an extent are the straight face. I think Go got better with time and the movies were actually really fucking good.
I just also hated the animation style on it because the animation style on just the original Teen Titans show was so good.
Yeah, but that was that golden era of Cartoon Network.
Ugh, wasn't it though? Jesus.
You're not gonna see that anymore. I feel like the current economy for like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network is bleak right now.
Well,
Nickelodeon
honestly,
especially.
and I would agree with you because Paramount just got basically put fucking MTV down to cut money.
Wait, they
Yeah,
put down
Katie was-
MTV?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Katie was telling me about that. You know, they fucking erased like all their archive shit. Like a lot of the MTV news bits and stuff are gone.
They did the same thing with Comedy Central too.
Yep.
Yeah,
What else
MTV's
do they
pretty
even
fucking dead.
have?
Huh?
What else
Well, they
does
had
Paramount even have outside of those two things and Nickelodeon?
Bar Rescue.
Nickelodeon is just SpongeBob now.
Yeah, pretty
well,
much.
that's all fucking MTV was ridiculousness or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's all they showed was that show every fucking day.
Yeah, but MTV was only known for Beavis and Butthead and Jackass. Let's be real.
No, there was so much more.
Nah, back in that day, there was a lot of shit on MTV that was really
There was
good.
so much more. I will
Yo,
not stand
MTV
for
Raps.
Yeah,
Daria Erasure.
yeah. The fucking, what was it, Liquid Television, where they had all those weird
Liquid
animated
Television.
shows?
Mhm.
Like Eon Flux. and-
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh,
Yeah!
yeah. That's right.
That was good shit.
Also
Bangers.
TRL Erasure.
Yeah, TRL was on. Come on 4. Well, no, come on 6 back in the day.
Old Headbangers Ball episodes were fun.
Yeah, and then when they did MTV2, they brought back Headbangers Ball.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I used to watch that a lot on too, and then they shifted it over to what was it called? VH1.
I think
Did
Jennifer.
they-
And then if you really want to get into fucking the real highlight of fucking MTV was always the spring break when they would go to spring break and do the live spring break shit. And they
Yep.
had like Jerry Springer down there fucking hosting and fucking they had Limp Bizkit fucking perform
When-
and all these people.
WCW showed up.
Yeah.
Then we got the second renaissance when they got into the reality TV game.
Dude,
Oh
watch-
yeah.
Oh my dear God! Don't even mention reality TV and MTV. God, don't please.
When
don't.
they created the true Da Vinci Code.
Oh, and don't forget fucking Pimp Ride.
There's
Pimp
Be
My
Sure.
Ride.
Hit my ride, yeah.
No,
Ride
what was the
fucking
one
hilarious.
one where they would get on the bus? It was that dating game.
Next.
Next,
Is one
yes.
of my favorite fucking shows from that era because it's aged horribly. Because
It has.
just a couple months ago, I decided to binge it because I got a little trial of Paramount because I mostly just wanted to watch The Curse. But
Oh, those people were deliciously white trash, weren't they?
it's just like it's what's so beautiful about reality TV, which is just like, all right, here's your lines, here's your bit, go do your shit. Like, make sure to stick to your little bit. And it's always so fucking funny and hammy. It's next is only 2 degrees away from like Nitro and Raw's War.
Okay.
No, Silent
No.
Library was another fucking great show.
Yes! Silent
Silent
Library
Library
was the
is great.
shit.
What was the
hate
MTV
that
or
one
what
went
was
away.
the Bully Beatdown? That one was a fucking good one.
A lot of fun. With
I actually recently watched a little thing on YouTube about Bully Beatdown and how they were surprised it got greenlit because during like the test screening for just the producers, one of the kids got his fucking femur snapped,
Ugh.
and they were like, "Oh, that's it. This is literally the worst case scenario. Dude got seriously fucked up on the test screening, so we're not even gonna get greenlit." And the producers were like, "How many seasons can you crank out?"
Yes.
Wasn't it the same thing when they had that wrestling show at MTV? And it was
Wrestling
doing-
Society X.
Yeah, and it was doing pretty good until they did that spot where Vampiro exploded Judas Messias, and they were like, cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that the world would be a much different place if that spot didn't happen and Wrestle Society X kept going. Because it wouldn't have gone too much longer,
No.
but if it had a couple seasons under its belt, akin to how Lucha Underground did, I think there would be a lot more networks trying to do that, but also more people trying to replicate that style of storytelling where it was a little bit more leaning into the hokey hardcore shit.
Well, that's all Lucha Underground was kind of like a spiritual successor to Wrestling Society X anyway.
Oh yeah, and it had a bunch of the same dudes.
And you can't forget the Real World Challenge or whatever. when they would
Real
bring
World
those.
versus Road Rules.
Yes, because Road Rules was fucking awesome. I thought it was a better show because
See, when you brought up the bus thing, that's what I thought you were going to was Road Rules.
No,
Road
Jake,
Rules was
you-
the shit back in the day.
That
Jake, you would
better than
love
Real
next.
World.
we got introduced to Theo Vaughn thanks to that show.
Well, we also
Oh, for real?
got introduced to Miz in the real world.
Put some respect. It is the Miz.
Whatever.
But we also had another one of my personal favorites, Parental Control. That was also some like peak. We're just like reality TV is whatever the fuck we want to do.
Parental Control.
No, Pete, no. They were on some bullshit when they did that tattoo show where they were like, let their friends had beef and they would put the tattoos, whatever, on them. And yeah, that shit was so out of pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like one dude got a piece of shit and some flies tattooed on his ass crack.
One dude got dumped by his girlfriend
I would
via
do that.
tattoo on his chest.
Yes.
But parental control would be like, I hate my daughter's boyfriend, or I hate my son's girlfriend. I think they should date this person, or this person. And it'll be like a weird, it's competitive dating. So each person, so the asshole boyfriend will sit on the couch with the parents of like whoever they're trying to market out. And they'll watch on the TV them going on like their little scripted dates. And then at the end, in front of everyone, they choose if they want to date one of these new guys or stick with their boyfriend. And then they'll just like, it'll be the fucking funniest ending because it'll be like, I don't care, I love my boyfriend. And then they'll just start making out. And then they'll like zoom in on the dad just going like sour puss, just it's the funniest fucking shit. Or it'll be the inverse of like, I'm sorry, I'm dumping you. I like Trevor. And then they'll start making out, and then it's just the dad throwing his fist in the air, like, haha, yeah. Fuck you, Clark. You piece of shit.
Fuck you. That's the name of the episode. Fuck you,
Fuck
Clark.
you, Clark. Well, you also forget one of the best gems of MTV's little run that they've had since we're talking about MTV is Catfish. That show, goddamn. You never watched Catfish, Jake?
So it started
my
out
fucking
good,
God.
But the further it goes, it gets just a little too hokey. And if you're gonna be that hokey, then like you really have to lean into it. Let's stop pretending you're still real.
So, Jake, just the premise of the show is like, dude will show up and be like, I'm talking to this girl, and she says she's this and that, and sends these pictures, and I think she's a catfish. So these two dudes will be trying to like find the bitch, like find her friends, find her, and then when they find her, usually it's a fucking fat dude, and then
she looks like a fucking nose tackle.
yeah, she looks like or she's a fucking whale, and
it's
fucking.
Typical catfish shit. And
okay,
like he said,
but
most
then
of the
they
time
bring
it's just
them
some
together
random
in like the
dude.
middle of a fucking park. Like they'll be in the fucking middle of a public park, and dude will be sitting on the bench waiting for this fucking whale to show up or whatever. And fucking he gets so fucking pissed. He's like, this ain't what you. Why would you lie to me like this? And she's like, I really like you. And then he's like, but you're fat. And then she's like, you hurt my feelings. I'm not fat. I'm just presently plump. And then
But that was because this was also still like the 2000s. So that was most of the basis was either I'm not gay or you're fat. And then the producers would literally just be like, you are. And then they would zoom in on their face. It would be like really fucking mean.
yeah, like the host at the end, after they had done all this research and brought these two people together, they were just kind of like assholes themselves. And they're like, how could you lie to this man and say that you're this 300 or you're a fucking 150 pounds, but you're actually really just fat?
Yeah, like
and they like start fat shaming the person.
So it's like a Catch Predator, but with fat people.
Yes.
No, it literally is though, because it's and it's really fucked up. But then there's like beautiful moments. There's one that I'm sure everyone listening has seen the clip where it's this fucking white dude with like kind of curly hair, and he just gets out of the car and he's like, well, well, well. And he's like, man, what the fuck? You're not Jessica. Yes, I am. And I love you. And he's just like running this goofy ass like cartoon villain bit.
Have you seen the one where the guy's sitting on the bench there at the park and it turns out it's a fucking dude and he's like, I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna beat his ass. And the hosts are like, no, you're not. You can't do that. You can't do that. And he's like, nah, this motherfucker wants to make out. He gonna make out with my fist. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
They missed out on
All
Bata.
right.
But then like over the years, because I'm guessing people are like, y'all are kind of being really mean, maybe dial it back. It switches from them being like, how could you be fat? To
How
like,
dare you be
they'll
fat?
kind of bully the catfish person and like they'll bring them together in a fucking Wendy's parking lot. And then they'll be like, what do you mean? Why don't date them anyways?
Yeah.
They'll just be
yeah,
like,
like they reverse like psychology and they're like, you're just being insensitive to this person.
yeah. And it's so fucking funny because the further it goes on, they just start like reverse psychologying it and being like, well, just get over it and date him anyways. Y'all
It's
were
like,
being
maybe you're
cool.
being the piece of shit because you don't like her for who she is, dickhead.
Yeah,
And then
that's
they try to-
basically that's the end of the run there. They did the fucking heel. They were heel when they came in and then face turned at
They
the
turned baby
end.
face.
And they're like, you're just insensitive to other people's feelings. You're the piece of shit.
That rules.
It's always wild because then if they'll either get together or they'll be like, no. And then they'll immediately be like, you got catfish, but you're a piece of shit.
Yes.
You're the prick
You're the
here,
piece of
not
shit
her.
for getting catfish. She's not
And
the
it's
piece of
and
shit.
the worst part is like they don't give them any fucking time. Literally the person that's getting catfished will find out on the spot and they'll be like, so y'all are gonna stay together, right?
And then they're generally like, no, not at all.
Yeah, because 90% of the time both of them are lying. It's just one person's lying more.
So fuck them because they were lying more.
Yeah. And their punishment is staying with the actual person who was lying in the first place.
So it's like, what's his name? The old fable about the guy carrying the fucking Sisyphus, the guy carrying the rock up the fucking hill, right?
Basically. And then they finally quit because after like 50 seasons, they're like, we can't keep doing this.
Well, we're talking about the golden era MTV shows. What about all the Bam Margera shows that came out?
Viva La Bam.
See,
Viva
the
La
thing
Bam.
is of all the shows, like they very much had diminishing returns. Because
It
I
kind
watched,
of got worse from Viva La Bam onward, but
yeah, because the more it went on, the more it's just like, damn, you are just kind of a menace to your family.
yeah, almost his parents specifically.
Yeah.
Like the bit where
Where
he
it's
just
like-
painted the entire house blue and he painted Phil blue.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't blame them for stealing his fucking money. Like, he was a little shit.
I've seen that
Like,
man passed out in a fucking parking lot. Okay.
True
I don't
story.
know necessarily if it's quite like the Honey Boo Boo scenario where it's like, no, you're a piece of shit for stealing your kid's money. Like, no, Bam Margera was a fucking shithead with that MTV money.
Phil and April were the exact opposite. It was like reverse Honey Boo Boo.
But that's really also on the network.
They fucking benefited from it.
Well, you know, all that shit really kind of started with the fucking CKY DVDs back in the day,
sure.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
like,
that was
have you
kind of
seen
the-
the Skeletor skit from the CKY videos?
Katie's my expert on CKY stuff. So, like, as soon as you said Skeletor, she's over here going.
If you haven't, I'm gonna send it to you in the group and just let you watch it. It's
Oh, she's
fucking-
got them all.
Please
so.
do.
Fuck. Oh,
she's like, oh dear Lord, not the Skeletor skit.
Or
Man.
the whole like, give me a goddamn orange.
Give me another more.
Which one of you are the one that called my wife on her birthday or saying fuck to her?
What really sucks is fucking Vito was a pedo, so
Yeah.
you know.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, Vito turned out to be a fucking child or kid diddler, yeah.
Yeah.
He's dead, right?
Yeah, just like Ron, I guess.
Is he dead? Is Vito
Come on.
I don't think Vito's
dead?
dead.
Vito is dead.
I don't think
No,
Vito's
Vito's dead.
I think
No, he
oh,
is
is he?
dead.
I thought Ryan was the only one that died.
No, so Vito and
not Vito's
Ron's dead.
You guys watch Wild Boys?
Yeah,
I loved Wild Boys.
that was a very good, educational, funny, fucked up show.
That it was.
It was. I almost liked it a little more than Jackass. Like they're literally the same thing, but Wild Boys felt more structured.
It really did. Like the
Well, it was
episode
because-
where Pontius put himself in a cat scratching post suit and went out there.
What
The fucking tigers were fucking clawing at him and shit.
Well, the whole thing with like Wild Boys was it was more structured because it was like an entire on location Jackass bit, but it was a whole show.
Yeah.
Instead of it,
Well,
it being
and
like
like they
the
would
two
make the location be
the bit.
the core theme of the bit, whereas Jackass, it would literally be like, all right, here's the Kenny Rogers taser bit, and then just suddenly cut to like, all right, now we're over here at the rodeo in Night Armor.
Yeah. Or here we fleeced Viacom out of some money. We're in India for no reason. Like we're gonna do some
Man.
fucked up shit in India.
See, and that's the thing about fucking MTV back in the day on Sundays. You know, that was Jackass, Wild Boys. Fucking Andy Milonakis was on there. Like that show was fucking
Andy
hilarious.
Milonakis
I
show
remember
is
Andy
light
Milonakis.
years ahead of its time.
It
Yeah.
really was.
I think if that aired today on Adult Swim, that would be the biggest shit ever. But the kids don't remember the Andy anymore.
I miss when fucking Adult Swim was good though.
No, Adult Swim's got some zingers right now.
Mm,
Number one, Smiling Friends.
I don't-
Smiling Friends is absolutely fantastic.
Now that old lineup, man, when it was the majority, it was primarily animated shows, and you had fucking Aqua Teen and fucking C Lab and fucking Metalocalypse and that shit. That was
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
No, I
that
was never.
the fucking time, dude.
Dude,
I'm
fucking
a Robot Chicken slanderer.
fuck off. Aqua Teen Hunger Force though was
Aqua Teen was
fucking
great. Metalocalypse was one that I didn't really like when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I appreciate it more. I just don't think I was ready for it then. Somehow I was for Super Jail, though. Super Jail was.
Also, apparently, Katie just passed me this note. Apparently, Death Clock is amazing live.
I've heard.
What about you?
It's very much like when people would go see the Gorillas live and they just put the big fucking screen down and they just project what's going on the screen. They're playing
Yeah.
live behind the screen, but like it's the whole thing. She got to be there when they did Duncan Hill's Coffee, and I was like, it's not fair.
That's the only time I could justify going to one of those like Hatsune Miku type shows.
Oh, sure.
They had a lot.
Because I know they don't always have, like, whenever it's the smaller shows,
Mm.
they just play the music with the screen and there's not actually a band.
What was the that show that Brendan Small, the guy from Metal Hawkins, did before? Home Movies.
Those.
That show was the fucking tits.
That was about to be my next one. Home Movies, also light years ahead of its time.
Oh, sure.
Because it has so many just quality fucking bits. I think everything about the dynamic between the coach and the main kid.
Oh, Coach McGurk. Yeah.
Was that H. John Benjamin that did the voice for
Yeah,
him?
that was
Okay.
that was like one of his early launch pads.
Yeah.
And now
that made
he's
that guy a fucking
one of the
millionaire.
most recognizable voices in the world.
Fucking love H. John Benjamin.
The Oblogs were really good too.
Squid Billies.
Good Billy.
Mission
No, I
Hill.
didn't like Squidbillies.
Mission Hill was one of those ones that like I felt like flew under the radar. It was like a hidden gem on there, but like I loved that show.
How does everyone feel about Venture Brothers?
I like the first like couple of seasons.
Yeah, Sid
See,
Vicious is a really good
I
character.
I think that show aged like wine. It just keeps
Oh,
getting
sure.
better because
I'm just
once
pissed you
they
never
start
got a
adding in the side characters
sure.
like
I'm
No,
Shore Leave,
a
upset
show
you never-
that's aged like wine is Boondocks.
Boondocks was good.
Yeah.
Boondocks is.
Colonel Stinkmeaner was the MVP of that show.
I'll never.
No, just Samuel
Yeah.
L. Jackson being the voice of a white dude is hilarious.
He
Adult
he was
Swim
the
was gonna
the
bring it
government
back.
agent, right?
No,
No,
he was
no.
like-
He was the rich dude's fucking buddy from the military.
Yeah, but it was the gangster fucking
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah. What was it? It was Ed Wensler Jr.
Yes, he was Wensler's fucking buddy.
No, it
And
was his
they were in the
kid.
military together. Well, he was
So,
Junior's friend, but they were ex-military.
so there
together.
was two of them. There was the kid that sounded like J-Rock, and then there was the buddy. They're in the Marines, but then they recruit Riley to kidnap Oprah.
Yes. I love that episode. Let's nab Oprah. That was a good one.
No, fucking Uncle Rufus.
Uncle
Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus. Yeah. Shit's
No,
hilarious.
Granddad's the best character to me.
Colonel Stinkmeaner's the best.
Granddad and fucking Tom, mostly
Tom
for
Dubois?
the Usher episode. Yeah,
Tom
the
Dubois,
Usher
yeah.
episode and the prison episode.
Granddad, do people get raped in Holden?
Oh my
So just
god. Y'all
also
gay.
Usher stealing his wife.
So how did you guys feel about the anime lineup that they had every Saturday on Adult Swim?
Toonami.
Oh, it was always good.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Toonami
anime
was
that
how-
I've been to was good.
Well, Toonami wasn't Adult Swim. That was technically before Adult Swim. That was the segue.
Yeah, but like later on, they would on Saturday nights they would just do an anime block on Adult Swim. That eventually
Yeah, they would
became
start
new-
at 12.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it would be like a couple
Cowboy-
of the harder ones, like Inuyasha, the ones that had blood.
yeah, like Inuyasha, Cowboy
Inuyasha. They
Bebop,
had Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha, Big
Ghost
O,
in the Shell.
Gundam,
Echo was so goddamn cool.
Ghost in the Shell,
Ghost in the Shell.
that Blue Exorcist or whatever it was.
Oh,
I think they started showing Bleach
later.
on there.
that was a little bit
That
later.
was what.
Hellsing came a little later too.
Helsing was one that they'd put on there. Yeah, they would
That
show sometimes they would put on unedited or uncensored episodes of Dragon Ball on there too,
Oh yeah.
where
That's
like
cursed.
he would say like
Yes.
hell, and damn. Instead
See, we don't realize what we had until they start taking it away.
oh sure.
Now we still have Toonami.
Yeah,
That's
but it's not.
Still say one of my favorite animes I ever played on the Saturday nights on Toonami was fucking Fooly Cooly. And it's almost based on like the music from it because you know they had the same one band in the entire soundtrack for that show.
Well, you know, at like I want to say 3 o'clock or 3:30, they would show Looped in the Third.
Yeah.
I fucking love Lupin the Third. Fucking Inspector Zenigata and the homeboy with the fucking cool hat and the beard. What was his name?
Did they show Speed Racer or did they actually
They
put that?
did. They
Yeah.
did. And then sometimes at like 4 or 5 in the morning, they would put on old episodes of like Gigantor.
Yeah. Speed Racer is a true classic.
Same
See,
with
back in the
Gigantor.
day here, when I was in like elementary school, so the local channels would like go off at 12 o'clock at night and they would just play like American flag, God bless America shit until like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then at 6 in the morning, they would show fucking Sailor Moon. That's
Yes.
what they'd start up with. You do Sailor Moon, Big Bad Beetleborgs,
VR
and,
Troopers.
VR Troopers.
And
Reboot.
OG
VR
Dragon
Troopers
Ball.
is fucking garbage. Y'all shut up.
You
I
shut
mean,
up.
it was, but like it was something to watch before you went to school.
So I didn't know this. Jason David Frank was originally supposed to be a VR trooper, and last minute became Creed Ranger.
Yep.
You know who else was supposed to be a VR trooper? The Hulkster, but he left his cell phone at the sauna and missed the call, so they decided to go with the cat. Was his name MC Scat Cat instead?
That's the same
The
thing.
Paula
how
Abdul song.
He was supposed to do the George Foreman grill, but he didn't get the phone call.
He was also supposed to play
Frank.
for the Reds.
Yeah, he was going to be in Metallica.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in Metallica too.
Who was it that took his gig on that?
Newstead.
Who?
Jason Newstead.
Apparently, Elvis Presley was a big fan of Hulk Hogan too.
Yeah, despite the fact that he died before Hogan ever wrestled in Memphis.
Yeah.
Let's just
You know
bury
who-
Hogan now. Like, can we do a fucking Hogan burial episode? That'd be fun. Fuck
I can
Hogan.
tell my time that randomly Hulk Hogan got brought up when eons ago I was helping make a music video for some friends for the dude from Bowling for Soup. And he was like, yeah, we met Hulk Hogan once. He kept saying he was a feeble old man.
Katie was in the room when Barry met Hulk Hogan one time, and she was like, he's kind of a dickhead. Well, fucking tell him. You were there. Go. Tell him.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how much someone I know.
Ladies
Someone
and
just listen-
gentlemen,
Oh.
our very special
Beautiful.
guest, Katie.
Thanks,
Hi.
Norm.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Norm.
Thank you, Norm. So Barry paid about $400 to meet Hulk Hogan, and I was
What?
Yeah, he paid $400.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, well, he had a book and he wanted it completed, and he got his autograph, and that's what he wanted. He got what he wanted. But like, I snuck in the room with Barry. I wasn't supposed to be there. Like, I don't know how I got by, because usually they are very strict about that. But I go in there, and he just stands there, doesn't say anything. Barry walks up to him, shakes his hand, and Hulk Hogan signs his book, and that was it. It was very weird and strange and very impersonal.
So to quote the legend of the Earth, the Iron Sheik, fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Well, and on that note, Shane, we need something a bit more specific. The audience has gotten plenty of life advice, but you know who needs some life advice? The Hulkster.
Yeah, let's give Hogan some life advice, Shano.
What advice do you have for Hogan in his twilight years?
That fucking face.
I don't think it's very good life advice, and probably shouldn't say it.
No, say it, man. Fuck Hogan. Let's go.
I'm not gonna do that.
What do you think, he's gonna come at you? He's gonna listen to our show? Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
you
is
never
fucking
know.
Noted, not another friggin' podcast fan.
Is he gonna sue you for defamation of character, like that shithead Vince Russo did?
Bro.
Why? I don't have
Bro.
any. I mean, be a better person, I guess. Hulk Hogan, don't be a piece of shit. Try that. Maybe people will like you. Your 700 interview was ass. Maybe try to do better at those. I don't know.
Maybe raise your kids a little better, because Nick.
Yeah, raise your kids to be better people than pieces of shit that kill people. I don't know. Then maybe you and Bischoff should do better about not trying to make money off of it and make a TV show about it. I mean,
Oh shit.
you carny fuck.
Well,
Billy
There
Connolly.
you
On
go.
that note-
Life advice for fucking Hulk Hogan and anybody else. And your beer probably is going to taste like piss.
That my beer tastes good.
Not Hulk Hogan's beer. It's probably it's probably gonna taste like fucking piss.
Steve Austin's
Steroid
beer
piss.
rules.
Steroid piss.
There you go. Steve Austin's beer rules, though.
Well, he's also a cat guy. But anyways, on that note, Hulk Hogan, don't be a piece of shit anymore. Do
Yeah,
better.
fuck the Hulk Hogan. Break his
Jake.
back, make him humble.
Dick, what they do?
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck him right in the